So, Eddie and Mike, when looking at this resume for a candidate wanting to interview with a firm for a client service associate or paraplanner role, what are your thoughts? What are you seeing on the resume that you like, and what do you think could be improved?
Sure. Thanks, Kyla. Off the top, look, everything's pretty clear, right? In terms of name and contact information, that looks good. I always appreciate when their credentials or designations are right at the top. So I think this candidate did a good job there. Looks like they passed the SIE, which usually means they'd be taking the Series 7 soon. So maybe parenthetically saying a targeted Series 7 date, fall of 2025. And then at the top, experience in Microsoft Office, great. Very common. I don't know if that really makes you stand out, but this candidate has spent some time in planning roles before, so I'm sure they are familiar with more wealth management or planning centric software. So I'd highlight that at the top as well. So whether somebody's actually reviewing the resume, it makes it easy for them to see what software, or if there's some type of AI or algorithm that's picking it up, you want to make sure that the software that you are familiar with is in the resume. And in this resume particular, probably right after Microsoft there. I'll turn it over to Mike in a second, but uh, under education, that all looks good except for the spacing. We have some clients that appreciate high attention to detail. So the fact that the GPA 4.0 is spaced in the first line, but not in the second or third, that might actually bother some of our clients. So a little attention to detail tip there. Mike?
Yeah, Eddie, all good points here. And I think if you look at this particular resume and look at the experience under paraplanner slash client service associate, as Eddie alluded to, this candidate talks about financial planning software, talks about creating holistic financial plans, but doesn't necessarily identify the software and the tools that they use. So I think having that under that profile section makes a lot of sense. What tools are you using? What are you familiar with? A lot of times we have clients asking us for familiarity with specific software that they're using. So having that highlighted could be attractive to employers that are looking to hire. I think also what we've seen, and I think this candidate does it in her early internship experience. If you scroll down, she identifies the team she was supporting in the AUM, but doesn't do that in her most recent experience. I think that's another thing that just adds a little context to the size of the firm she's supporting. She could also maybe, or he could maybe state some of the details here around uh, number of plans that they're building or number of client interactions that they're having over the course of a week. Anything that just provides a little bit more detail around their day to day is always helpful and gives context to employers that are looking to evaluate candidates if they want to take next steps. So those are some things I think this candidate could potentially add to make the resume a little bit more attractive. But I think overall, this candidate does a pretty good job of highlighting their background, their designations, their licenses, and what they're looking to accomplish moving forward as they highlight their experience here.
Awesome. Thanks, Eddie and Mike. Let us know if you have any resume questions or topics you'd like us to address in future videos.